can I come out to Asia too? And they're like, they don't need you out there. We have enough Asians out in Asia. I was like, that's freaking racist, man. I was just learning Mandarin. I could not speak Cantonese. I was honestly just partying too much. I was just having too much fun.
There was no window in the hotel room.
Budget constraints, man.
I don't know.
The windowless rooms.
There's no
He
window.
didn't have a windowless.
I don't think it's imperative. I mean, I still go out, I still go out, let's say, to Avenue or Marquee.
I thought I saw you at Avenue one time.
Yeah. I go there.
That was you, wasn't it?
That was probably me.
You got like anything done, no way.
I've done everything done, dude. I know you're a foreigner.
I'm a foreigner.
I can barely tell, man.
Welcome to the Rojak Room. Today we have with us one of the most handsome, stunning, and jaw-droppingly beautiful men in the world. But enough about JK. Also in the studios with us is host of the biggest reality TV shows, presenter, actor, live streamer, and everything in between. It's ALLAN WU. Welcome to the Rojak Room. Look at his face as we tell him the title of the show. We have the fittest, most handsomest, most incredibly youthful. Can I say your age? I want to say it.
Absolutely.
53 years old. You are not 53, ALLAN WU.
54 in less than 2 weeks, baby.
What? ALLAN WU in the studios. Yes.
Woohoo!
Wait, you're not 54. That's not possible.
I will be.
Look at his face.
About 13, 14 days.
Hold on. Have you got wait, honestly, have you got like anything done? No way.
I've gotten everything done, dude. Everything is artificial implanted,
years
injected.
Wow.
Not inseminated.
No,
Never intimidated.
You still and today he thought it was an audio interview, so he didn't do any of his hair, he didn't do anything, he wore a t-shirt, and he still looks incredible.
I messaged like 2 weeks. Is this a video or audio recording? I didn't see this. 5 minutes. Oh, it's video. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It's fine. It's all good.
I missed the message. Sorry, I didn't see the message.
No, you're a busy man, JK. You're a busy man.
I'm very, very messy.
Large and in charge.
Oh, wow. Medium large. Let's talk about ALLAN WU, how you got to Singapore. Like, where do you grow up, and then what was the journey like?
The short abridged version is I grew up in California, born and raised, and then after university I worked for a couple of years at a biotechnology company.
Company?
Yeah, biotech company. We're the third largest in the world, manufacturing biopharmaceuticals to treat metastatic kidney cancer and multiple sclerosis. Some of the most popular products. Then I was going to take my GMAT, go to business school.
So wait, you're super quick. Hold on, I got to ask about that. Were you like a scientist or a sales rep?
I was in R&D, research and development, for a biotechnology company after graduating from UC Berkeley.
So you are a scientist.
I was supposed to be a doctor, but I didn't want to spend more time studying, so I became a scientist. Yeah.
Hey, God is not fair, lad. This guy's not only good looking, but he's also smart.
Yeah, so when I was like modeling and acting, it was like, wow, you went to such a good school, such a good degree. Why are you doing this stuff like JK and everyone else too? You don't have to be an actor or an entertainer or radio DJ and I was like, you have to follow your heart and do what resonates with you in your life. So I think for me, coming from a traditional Chinese background, you want to live up to your parents' expectations at that time.
So your parents are from China?
They're originally from China, but they grew up in Taiwan. And then they immigrated to the U.S. in the 1960s. Had me and my brother in the 1970s. So we grew up in the U.S. Dealing with, at that time, very few Asians at that time, with a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism. So at that time, you are trying to assimilate, trying to fit in, too, as a non-white or, as a minority. So you spend this time, that's where I got really, really involved with different types of sports. Obviously, academia was a huge cornerstone because my parents are Asian. They all want us to do well in school academically. So yeah, you have a lot of different agendas. You want to make your parents proud, do well in school, go to a good university. Then you also have your own agenda, which is to try and fit in, try and be accepted by the mass majority who are not Asian. Try and get girls to like you, try and be popular. So I realized the way to do that was probably not through academics, because the stereotype of Asians is that we're a bunch of freaking nerds. Right? You have like Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles. You have,
so what Dong?
Yeah, this is before Hangover. Before the Hangover. Yeah, this is like the old school stereotypes of Asians. So I mean, long story short, I can go on and on. I could do this stuff for ages, but I think long story short, obviously I had a background where I was in science doing biotech. Realized that I really didn't enjoy studying that much. At that time, I think Asians, especially Asian males, were very underrepresented in the United States, and I knew the strongest medium for people to really, really be influenced was through film, television, through media. So it was through stereotypes, of Asians either doing kung fu like Chen Long, like Jackie Chan, or Jet Li, or it was like, let's say, Ken Jeong in The Hangover, just a very emasculated, dorky little Asian guy too. You didn't have what we have now here too, where especially Asian men are a lot more, I think, desirable, a lot more, I think, attractive, a lot more, people accept Asians a lot more now too.
But I think they have a different standard when it comes to like the beauty of Asian standards, right? Like for example, men, it's better the more feminine they look. Like you look at the BTS.
I totally agree. I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. I mean, they all look kind of the same to me though too. Yeah, they all look very effeminate. They're very pretty. Very very like kind of gender neutral. I've always been very very alpha, very like masculine. Right?
No, but you are a masculine pretty boy because you're handsome.
I was getting excited. I thought that was a MAGA hat.
But you don't read English very well then, huh? There's no mag on there. There's no blue on there though too. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I think in this day and age, the fact that even Asian males are, I think, considered desirable is a huge step forward. Obviously at that time in the United States, around the world, in Europe, now you have Africans, I think Latinos, Caucasians, everyone they can accept Asians. I mean, Asian women have always been, I think, accepted. Asian men, outside of Asia have always had difficult time.
I have to interject here. That's not true for the black community.
What is not true?
Back in the 1970s, right, you could get a Kung Fu movie screening in Barbados. You got James Bond here, you got the Kung Fu movie. The James Bond movie is empty. Right, black guys have idolized Chinese men for 50 years.
Well, that's because of one man.
No,
Unite,
It's not Bruce Lee.
Then who is it?
It's Chen Xing, Lo Li, Cheng Pantai. These hardcore.
Who are these people?
These
how do you know more about Chinese culture than we do?
And why you never idolize me? What's going on?
Can't fight what? No, the hardcore kung fu. When Jackie Chan came in, we left the cinema. All that comedy and buffoonery. Nah, we let the guys with long hair, pure macho, tiger claw, all that, right? So Chinese men have always been cool to the black community. You got the Wu-Tang
Chinese
Clan.
men because it's all the Wu-Tang Clan, but it's all because of kung fu, right? Not for them being who they are, it's only because they know kung fu and martial arts. That's why. You take that away, they would not be respecting them.
So how did you get from biotech research development, and then how do you end up did you come to Singapore first or?
No, I didn't come to Singapore.
So what was the journey like?
The journey's pretty amazing, I think, though, too. So I think for me, I ended up, quitting that job. And then I thought, hey, we only have one life to live. I think at this point, I thought maybe I'm going to just, try and give this a shot. So then I was in San Francisco and I, thought, okay, I'm going to try and see if I can get some representation at a talent agency. So I went in there and then, went in for, their open call. At that time, I never thought, it was basically, because San Francisco is a secondary market, not like Hollywood. Hollywood is very stratified. So you either have like agencies that are focused on sitcoms, feature films, commercials, everything though too. But in San Fran, you have like a talent agency for commercials, film, television, and modeling. So I went to this open call and then the booker there's like, oh, have you ever considered modeling? It was the last thing I ever thought I could do. At that time, I was, still working. All my friends were African American, Latino, white, getting all the girls. I was like this Asian guy. Then I realized, shit, I was like going to be the token Asian guy at one of the top modeling agencies. So then I signed with them, did the biggest, fashion show on the West Coast called Macy's Passport. Magic Johnson was there. Tina Turner performed. Tyson Beckford was the first, the super hot, African American model for Polo, and so I did that. So I signed with them, but I realized after a year of modeling, it wasn't what I really wanted to do. But during that time, modeling was a good start because you didn't have to have any training or any practice with acting. Acting, I was taking classes at the American Conservatory.
I was going to ask you that. Had you done any acting before?
No. I hadn't. So I basically took a class at ACT where Tom Hanks went, Denzel Washington at ACT, and then went down to LA, signed with Ford Models, and then it was funny. It was at Ford Models. It was all, it was like maybe all these white models doing stuff for Abercrombie and Fitch, Levi's, Gap, and then maybe a couple of Eurasian guys, and then me, the one full Asian guy. And then the Eurasian guys were coming out here to Asia, coming to Singapore, shooting for Men's Folio, getting these magazine covers, getting these things called tear sheets where you want to build up your book, right? You want to show them your body of work. And I was like, hey, can I come out to Asia too? Can I, try and work because I see all the Eurasians, the Asians doing very well here. And they're like, they don't need you out there. We have enough Asians out in Asia. I was like, that's freaking racist, man. But luckily, I had friends in like, Asia and Hong Kong and stuff, that were they were working for Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, big bankers like, Alan, you got to come out here. You do well. I was like, I want to come out there, but I don't really have the money right now to go out there. And I said, so they took the time to find this thing called a courier flight. So basically, you could take a flight from LAX to Hong Kong. Guess for how much?
$80.
Wait, what year was this?
1997.
Wow.
1998, sorry.
Okay. I don't know how much flights back
idea.
then.
Normal, yeah.
There was like this thing done in Eurotrip. They did that. They did like the courier
Was
thing. Yeah.
Basically, it was $100 round trip.
Whoa.
But the catch was you had to fly the next day.
Oh.
So basically, you act as a courier to transport time-sensitive materials.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
illegal.
Right, I was about to say,
No.
transporting.
So it's like microchips or important documents. This is before the advent of technology,
Right.
soft documents and everything too. So I said, screw it, let's give it a shot. So I flew out there, went to Hong Kong and just freaking landed, went to all the agencies, booked my first job like 3 days later with HSBC Bank. I was the lead. The lead girl was Grace Park. She's in Hawaii Five-0, Battlestar Galactica, good friend of mine. And then also I said, I'm already in Hong Kong. Let's go to Taiwan. So I went to Taiwan, and then at that time I met some people there too, and they said they wanted me to audition to be a VJ for MTV. So that's when I said, oh shit, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try and be a VJ. The only catch was I had to read in Chinese and introduce a music video. I was like, one small problem, I can't read Chinese.
So you had no background
overall-
in Chinese
Huh?
with your parents and anything?
They spoke to me when I was a kid, but growing up in the United States, you're trying so hard to fit in.
Yeah.
I refused to learn it and refused to speak it.
And the question is, your parents are from Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
So do they speak Mandarin?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but their English is, they've been there so long, their English is still broken. It's still like very, very choppy. It doesn't sound like American English because they immigrated when they're older too. Obviously, their mother tongue is Mandarin. So I did this, so over a whole weekend, I'm trying to learn like 2 or 3 lines in Chinese, got this huge zit, went and did the audition, thought I totally messed it up. It was for Smashing Pumpkins, a music video called 19... Yeah, so I did the audition, went back to the US, never ever thought I would come back out here to Asia. Then a couple weeks later, MTV from Taiwan calls and said, we saw your audition, your Chinese is beyond atrocious, but we see something in you. Would you like to move to Taiwan to become a VJ for MTV? We'll teach you Chinese. And so, I wouldn't say the rest, that was just the beginning of my journey. So then I said, screw it, like I said, you have one life to live, follow your dreams. So I moved from California, left my family, left my serious girlfriend at the time, left my country to move to Taiwan all by myself, to learn Chinese and to become a VJ for MTV.
Did you break up with her or long distance?
Yeah, I did. I broke up. We tried long distance for a short while, but I think at that time she really wanted to get married. We were together for 3-4 years. We were like the couple in the Bay Area.
Is she, just curious, is she Asian or?
She's mixed. She's half Chinese, half Mexican.
Wow.
She's a model, like beautiful.
Wow.
I could have stayed in that life in the Bay Area, just had like a typical job like everyone else, be a doctor, lawyer, scientist or something. But I think I always wanted to, I figured there was more in life,
I never knew you were a VJ. Wow.
Yeah, I was a VJ, yeah. for
MTV Taiwan.
MTV Taiwan, man.
Okay.
But it makes sense. And I find Taiwan is... Okay, I went to Taiwan once on business, and the vibe there was incredible.
Why is it incredible?
As soon as you get off the plane, right, there's just something about that place, right, that... I can't speak Mandarin, right, but I learned more Mandarin in 3 days than I did in 4 years in Singapore before that. But the vibe of the people,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't put it into words.
Is it the women?
It's everything.
Yeah, everything.
I knew it, Jerry.
The food, the women, I think, yeah, it's a great place. It was a great place for me to start. And it's a great location. It's not like Singapore because you have to learn Mandarin. Right. You have to learn Chinese. Not like in Singapore where you can still get away with English. So I did that for 2 years, but I realized in Taiwan, the market, I really want to get into film. So then the problem with Taiwan is more of an indie film market. They don't have a lot of commercial film at that time. So I thought I need to go to Hong Kong. So then I moved from Taiwan to Hong Kong, had friends there too, and then signed with the biggest movie company there called China Star, 中国星, signed a 10-year contract with them. But within 1 year, I realized I could not release, I was just learning Mandarin, I could not speak Cantonese, and I just realized like this is not really, I was honestly just partying too much. I was just having too much fun. Too much. And at that time, Hong Kong was pretty crazy, man. I could tell you stories about that, but
yeah, you can. man. Come on, let's go. Let's hear it. What happened?
I mean, whether it's just a lot. I mean, I'm at raves. We're in the middle of a rave. Everyone is just partying. On whatever, and then suddenly the lights turn on. You have these triads coming in with machetes, chopping people up, limbs up. I guess they got in a beef with someone there in Kowloon Tong.
What?
We're partying till daylight from the day before. A lot of different things happen. I think so. Within a year, at that time I was still modeling a lot. I was getting so many jobs. I've probably shot over 50 television commercials in my life.
Okay, I've got to ask you a quick question. There's one black guy that was acting in Hong Kong and China around this time, a guy called Winston Ellis. Did you ever come across him? Did your paths ever cross?
Not that I know of. Not.
Can't be only one. There's only one.
Well, he seemed to be the only one. I mean,
Might have been, yeah.
when he can speak Mandarin, they just said to him to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they can dub anything onto that.
As they did here in Channel 8 for some of the other Chinese actors like Benedict Go and everyone too.
What does it say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, just do that. Yeah, and they just make their mouth move. They make their mouth move, and then that's it. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Okay, so it was in Hong Kong. Getting back to the story.
Yes.
So in Hong Kong, I finally broke out of my 10-year talent contract with this company within a year because I was actually generating more revenue for them than they were doing anything for me. And so I was getting ready to move to China. That I thought was the future, going to Shanghai or Beijing, where this is like probably in the year 2000. But then I had a job offer to come here to Singapore at the Singapore Expo to host for this company called NTT Docomo. It's like the Singtel of Japan. So it was a hosting job. I came into Singapore. I had some modeling friends, that were working here, foreigners too. And then I said, hey, since I'm in Singapore here, I've always heard things about Singapore. They had really good photographers, great, you get good tear sheets, good jobs here too.
So, what year was this?
2000 to 2000, yeah. And so I said, okay, yeah. So they were here. They introduced me to Mannequin Studios. So there I met their GM at the time, Serafina. I said, here I'm in Singapore now. I want to see what I can do here. And then she said, Allan, when I see you, I just see dollar signs. I was like, that's great, but then I don't really want to model. Never really got into modeling. I really want to get into acting. So I said, well, if you want to get into acting, then let me introduce you to Irene Ong at Fly Entertainment.
Oh, she already opened the company in 2000?
She had just opened it. Had just opened it. So I went to meet with Irene and the company, and then they introduced me to MediaCorp. MediaCorp met with me, and then I wouldn't say the rest is history, but then they said, wow, this guy can speak Chinese. So then I left Singapore, did some work here too, and then I get a call from Fly, from Hosan Leong, who was working for Irene at the time too. Said, would you like to come to Singapore? I know it was in your plan. MediaCorp's willing to offer you a contract to work on Channel 8, Channel 5. And so I thought about it. At that time, I was already in a transitional period. I'd already moved from the US to Taiwan to Hong Kong, was ready to go to Shanghai. I'd gone to all these places with just myself and a bag full of dreams, just to come out here. And then I said, screw it, let's give it a shot. So then I moved out here, hosted Talent Time 2001 with Gene Danker, did my very first Chinese drama called He Sui San, Bukit Ho Sui. Could not speak a lick of Chinese. It was so hard. I can go on with stories about that, but I've always believed what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so that was 2001, did, Chinese dramas, did a lot of, Channel 5 stuff and everything too. And then a couple of years later, had the call to audition for The Amazing Race Asia, which you know very well too.
Yes.
So that's how I ended up in Singapore. That's a long story. I want to make it as short as possible, but there's so many stories to fill in between that. But it was certainly a journey, and I think it's pretty interesting, to see. I saw some of my other friends stay in Taiwan or Hong Kong or Singapore, but I think for me, life is to be lived, to explore and experience as much as you can. And I've always believed there's no such thing as a bad experience as long as you're able to learn from that experience. And I have a lot of respect for people that are uproot and go to a new country, because it takes so much courage, it takes a lot of self-belief, and you have to be very, very resilient too. And so that was 25 years ago or so that I moved to Singapore.
Just do some math. You were still really young.
I was young. I was probably I was probably about 29, 30 years
young.
old.
That's really young,
I already lived in so many countries, and obviously it was very difficult for my parents to kind of to come to terms with in the beginning. So we send you to this good university. You had a good life here, and here you are. We left Asia to give you a better life in the U.S.
Just to go back.
And now
to
you want to go back to Asia and shit too.
But you
all by yourself.
But you did so well.
A circle of
I
life.
did all right. I think it's you just have to go in there with the right mindset. Like as I tell my children who've been on this show too. My son, like, there's a couple things in life that I think people should always abide by too, which I hope they can learn too. Is just always never take anything in life for granted. You know, I think always treat anyone the way you would want them to treat you too. Regardless if you're the star, if you're the janitor, if you're anyone also. And then on top of it, you know, just always realize, like I said earlier, there's no such thing as a bad experience. Life is all about experiences too. So as long as you, even if you fail, I mean, I've failed so many times too. And I got going into stories about that also. But as long as you're able to learn it and then work from it too, then that will only make you
Hold
better.
on. Allan Wu doesn't fail.
I do. I feel all the time. Dude, when I was first learning Mandarin, I had to go to China to host in Mandarin to people that speak Mandarin way better for. I mean, I'm hosting this event with Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill for a you know, Mini Cooper event, and I'm just flubbing through my lines trying to explain this car and everything too. Like, it was so daunting. You know, a lot of times I'm doing, let's say, for Porsche, doing these huge events, getting paid so much, way more than Singapore. It's crazy. I mean, I did the Amazing Race Asia, then I did 2 versions of the Amazing Race in
China.
And
Right.
those paid proper money, I think. Though, too.
Why Singapore then? Like, if the money was always going to be in China, like what?
Very good, you know, because I think the Amazing Race Asia was a huge step for me. It kind of opened the doors for me in China because China saw the show too. So then Shanghai wanted to do their own version, and then another Shenzhen wanted to do their own version later on. So when the China version in Shanghai wanted to do it, I actually moved to China. I did move to China with my then wife and my 2 kids who were very, very small at that time too. This is around 2010 to 2000. We moved probably around 2011, 2012. So I moved there. I had moved there. And then it was during that time that my ex-wife, Wong Li Lin, and I decided that maybe we are better apart than together. And so she decided to move back to Singapore. I really had no plans to come back. But then within half a year, I missed my kids, Sage and Jonas, so much. That's why I decided to move back around 2014, 2015.
So you speak faster than me, right? But I just heard something between there that I'm not sure if I heard you right. Did you say your son has been on this show?
Yes.
Mate, you were with him. You were sitting next to him.
The 2 NS boys. The Chinese boy and NS boy, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for telling me it was his son.
I told you it was Allan
You
Wu's
never
son.
said a word.
I said I told you it's Allan Wu's son. What the?
This is their first podcast, man.
Wow.
These guys,
This guy.
yeah.
Hold on. So wait.
Yes.
This journey has gone so
That's how not to do it, right? Let's not brief anyone here.
This I sent in the documents also. I put there bracket Allan Wu's son in the document.
All
You didn't
good.
read it.
All good in the hood, baby.
Hold on.
All good in
Wait,
the hood.
We've gone so fast, but I want to ask about. Hold on. I want to ask about Amazing Race Asia.
Yeah,
So-
go for it.
So
Well, I got stories about that too, bro.
yeah, so I was on season 5.
Yes.
And I thought it was I thought it was planned really well. But then I spoke to one of the producers after the show, and he said that the first few seasons are very different from season 5 because the season that I was on, your tickets are already booked. Even though it seems like you have a choice, the journey has already been planned for you. In the first few seasons, you were waiting for contestants like days.
You don't even know, bro, how long
Like-
I had to wait sometimes.
like-
I mean, I could tell you so many stories. Even coming here to your studio, right? It kind of reminded me of when I did my audition for the Amazing Race.
Was it here?
No, it was over at Changi Business Village.
Right.
That's where AXN, Sony Pictures
Yes.
was, the office was. So I remember when my manager, Ling, over at Fly Entertainment said, oh, they're actually going to be auditioning for a host for this show called The Amazing Race. Have you ever heard of it? I'm like, yeah, I heard of it, but I didn't really watch it that much because at that time there were 3 big reality shows: The Amazing Race, Survivor, and this other one called Fear Factor.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
So I used to
Rogan.
love Fear Factor. I thought, if I'm going to be on a show,
UFC.
do I really want to spend, let's say, 40 days getting super thin on Survivor? Who could I do The Amazing Race with? Fear Factor was just like 1 episode, right? So then I actually signed up an audition to be on Fear Factor. So I was on Fear Factor, remember, in 2004 on NBC in the US too. So I was on Fear Factor.
Yes, you were, yes.
Yeah, I was on Fear Factor. Go on YouTube, do a search for
You're eating
Allan Wu.
something.
Yeah, oh, dude. 21 shots of blended maggots, worms, and cockroaches. Fresh. I've never seen an episode of Fear Factor where every contestant throws up.
Somehow I feel
You
like
should
that's-
go get that. You should get that.
I feel
that
like
footage,
that's
put it
not
on.
the worst shot you've done in life, though.
It's not. But that was 21 shots of it, bro.
You've done worse.
I've done a lot, dude. This is all forged through, pain and suffering. What you see, this is not. You're not naturally like this at this age. So then, so I think after that, I realized, being from the Fear Factor experience, I'm like, this kind of sucks because I actually ended up, Joe Rogan was a host.
Yes.
And it was down to me and this other guy, and I actually lost. So all I got was a handshake from Joe Rogan. And I was like, being a contestant is fun. The limelight's on you. But then you don't get paid. And once you're done, you don't win anything.
You don't
so I
get
thought,
paid?
No, not as a contestant.
Yeah, I didn't get paid for Amazing Race Asia as a contestant as
it's
well.
an opportunity.
Yeah.
So then
Exposure.
Yeah,
You're paid in
exposure
exposure.
and experience.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I thought, shit, maybe it's better to be a host. You can come back every year, be the face of the show, and you get paid too. So then I heard, they have this new show they want to come out with. Sony does on AXN called The Amazing Race Asia. Do you know about it? Have you heard of it? I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it. Of course I know about it. I never really watched it. So I said, okay, why don't you come in here and audition? So they gave me the script. I watched the show for a bit. So I remember when I rode a motorcycle then too. But when I rode that motorcycle at that time, it was like today, it was actually pouring. I show up dripping wet for this audition, and the guy's like, wow, that really left an indelible impression on them. So in the end, they auditioned guys from all around the whole region, from here, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia. It was down to me and one other guy.
Where's he from?
He was from Thailand.
Okay.
So it was me and some guy from Thailand. So it was us two auditioning to be the face of The Amazing Race. And then, so I went and did my thing, and then he went and did this thing. And in the end, they picked me. And then later on, Michael McKay, amazing man, executive producer, told me, like, do you know why we picked you? And I said, why? He said, because I think while we're auditioning, maybe it was my background as an actor. They wanted me to audition straight the first time, then they wanted to do it different types of versions too. Like a different style, different type of, cadence, different type of delivery, which I was able to do. And then I then became the host of The Amazing Race Asia. And then, like you said earlier, you're right. In the very beginning, when the show, we had huge budgets back then. So contestants had free reign on their own. They had to buy their own tickets, choose their own itinerary, where to transit, how to get from one point to another point.
First class and everything?
No, you don't.
Have anyone
No, not that much money.
You have a limited amount of money, right? But you have money there. You have this you have money on each leg that you have to use. Sometimes you run out of money, you have to start begging for money too.
Oh, yeah.
You have to do whatever it takes to get money. It's a full on scavenger hunt around the world. Nothing is already preset.
Ours was all preset already.
Yeah. See, by that time we got to yours, and at that time we went far too. By the time we got to your season, they didn't have the kind of budget from sponsorships also. Back then, this is 2006, 2007, 2008, when the show was in its prime too. This is freaking 20 years ago when I was doing this, right? So we would be flying. I would be sometimes waiting 14 hours at a pit stop, waiting, because anytime there was a self-drive, that's when I'd be like, oh shit, I'm screwed. I'm in Taiwan or somewhere, and they're supposed to go north. They're going south to freaking Gending or something. I'm going, oh God. I have to sit there in Taipei waiting for these people, trying to find their way. It was pretty much insane. But then again, those are the memories. Me, my cameraman, my sound man, sitting there, and then rushing, waiting for these teams together, trying to rush from that pit stop to catch the next flight to the next location halfway around the world. We'd be traveling to a different country every day or two also for a whole month. And it was insane. It was an insane period. It got me so turned off from flying for a long time. Now I really enjoy not flying a lot more, because I was flying so much at that time, doing that version, doing The Amazing Race China, The Amazing Race China Celebrity Edition. It was crazy. Then I was doing a lot of documentaries too, doing a lot of different travel shows too, going to Everest, going to the wettest place on the planet, going, to, I think a lot of different things I've done, living with tribes in the Philippines and the rocks, catching bats for food. Done a lot of different things, yeah. So yeah. So it was crazy. I think the whole Amazing Race experience was definitely, I guess, a stepping stone for a lot of memories.
Something you said to me during the rap party of Amazing Race Asia Season 5, because my wife was pregnant.
Yes.
I found out 2 days before I went on the show. So I was a contestant, right?
So as Jerald would, he would leave the wife pregnant.
Yeah, it's fine. It's early pregnancy.
So the Amazing Race is a testament to Jerald's life of running away from his
I always remember him when we came here to Singapore for that leg,
Oh, yes.
When he come to Singapore, he just completely broke down. He missed his family so much. He wanted to see, she was in the midst, we lock them up. We don't allow them to see anyone too. When you are eliminated, and he wasn't eliminated, but I'm just saying, when they're eliminated, they get stuck on, they get stuck to a different location where they can only wait until everyone else shows up.
Even if you're not eliminated, you're stuck in a room.
Yes.
And when we look out window,
you're cut off from the world.
You see ALLAN WU and the cameraman going out shopping or wherever, clubbing, and then you're stuck in the
You're
room.
like in a prison. Yeah, you can't leave.
You can't
and
leave.
you can't use your phone. You have no internet. You're just stuck there waiting. And you have to wait that long for the interviews afterwards.
Yeah, and in some rooms, they remove the TV. Like in Vietnam, they remove TV, remove everything. So you're
So you're just stuck
In
with your
Philippines,
your
big
companion.
city, there was no window in the hotel room. Did you know that?
Budget constraints, man. We
I don't
can afford the windowless rooms for it,
There
you
was
know?
no
He
window.
didn't have a window. He probably had a
Yeah.
suite.
So what I remember was you said to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you remember this.
Let me see what I said.
You said to me at the wrap-up party, being a father is one of the greatest things you will ever experience. And for 5 years, you were lying. To me anyway. Because the first 5 years were terrible when I was a father. And then after that, when the kids got a bit older, then that's what Allan Wu was talking about. When you see them say certain things, do certain things, bring a smile to your face. Because this is my
Own experience.
outlook of experience. 99% stress, impatience, headaches, 1% happiness. But you cannot replicate that 1% of happiness.
You can't. You
as
can't.
a parent.
And
Yeah.
that's what you live for, is that 1% of
Right.
happiness. You know, I look at my friends, look at my friends who are parents, are not parents. I think for me, my greatest, I mean, I think I have achieved a certain amount of achievements, I guess. But I think probably for me, the most fulfilling is just watching my children grow up. You, ironically, coincidentally, have already met my son. My daughter right now is in university and then doing so well, you know, just thriving there too. To watch your kids excel academically, athletically, obviously it's a challenge, you know, because it's a fine line between how hard do we want to push our kids.
How
You know,
did it-
people,
Sorry.
you know, people ask me all the time, like my daughter right now, she's going to Stanford. You know, she's going to do her second internship at SpaceX. Just bought her first car with her internship money.
SpaceX.
Right now, she's going to get a dual degree, bachelor and master's degree in electrical engineering.
Wow.
She started her Instagram account last June. She had a private one. Started an Instagram account in June last year. Guess how many followers she has right now?
God, don't make us feel
Inferior, about 150,
150K.
160,000.
What?
You got to see her stuff. It's insane.
What?
It's insane.
Sage Wu.
Sage Cadence.
Wow.
Sage Cadence, yeah.
What
Look at
in
it.
the world?
It's you want to see how to do a proper IG, but she's so niche because she knows how to work. I mean, she's STEM, you know. She's obviously she basically speaks to, I think, that generation. Plus, she's female in a very technical field where a lot
Bro, it's
of
not
kids.
150, it's 172,000.
Dude, yeah, okay, sorry, yeah, dude.
What
It's
the
crazy,
heck?
bro.
What
She
is
just
happening?
started less than over half a year ago. You gotta see this stuff.
That's not fair. I mean, your father's Allan Wu, your mother's Wong Li Lin. That's not fair. That's like, you know.
No, but when she was here, they didn't want to do anything in entertainment or media. And in the beginning, I was like, you guys should get, I mean, both your parents here are already in entertainment. It'd be a huge, easy path like all the other actors whose kids have wanted to get into entertainment, but they had no desire. She only did this way later on herself in school.
Can I just say this? Like most, I don't know. Like most, when you think of, this is what we discussed in the previous episode. When you think of, you know, like 150, 170K followers, they're usually like posting more like bikinis, whatever.
Yeah.
Your daughter's all like electrical engineering.
It's all, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
smart,
Yeah,
dude.
it's like smart stuff.
Dude, really,
It's not-
really
yeah.
smart, dude. She's, and she has
Is that from
companies-
you or from your wife?
That's a good question. I would say it's probably more from her mom. I will say her mom.
Her
but I
mom,
think
sorry,
from
her
me.
ex-wife.
But I
He's
think
being
her mom
modest.
came from me.
Look at his degree already.
But I think,
easy.
yeah, it's smart. But I think also, I would say that people ask me all the time, how did your daughter get into school? She actually got into Princeton early, Princeton University. You might have heard that school too. And then she was all set to go there, but then she was all set to go to Princeton. That was like her dream school. It was only during regular admissions or applications that she realized she got into Stanford. And then she was trying to decide between the two.
Both are good. Both are great.
Both are just, they're amazing.
Ivy
schools.
League. Yeah.
I gotta ask this before we go to quick fire questions. You were talking about partying a lot, you know, being out all the time.
Yeah, that's my whole life, man.
Did that change? Did you change after you found out that Sage was born first, right?
Yeah, Sage was born first.
So did that
The whole
change?
show was documented on CNA. There was like a little.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they had a little reality show of Leland and me, her becoming a mom and me becoming a father too.
Did that change you, or you still continued partying a bit?
I think I still did, but not like before. Obviously, it's different. Even when I obviously settled down and got married, you just don't party as much. You know, obviously, you're not out there to meet anyone. You still, I mean, obviously, I still go to events. I get invited to events, to launches, you know, to different types of, engagements. But you still do. I think for me, it's just something, and I don't see that with the newer generation, which I think is sad. It's about being able to, forge and fortify, spend time with friends, go out,
Yeah.
get a drink, catch up. People now are so, we live in a world world now that is so connected digitally, but we're so disconnected, I think, in real life. Because everything's all, dating apps now. Everyone just wants to vet everyone, online first before they actually go to a bar or go to a club or go to a dinner and actually meet someone too. So to answer your question, yes, I don't think it's imperative. I mean, I still go out, let's say to Avenue or Marquee.
I thought I saw you at Avenue one time. I
Yeah,
swear I did.
I was
at the
probably
ski
there.
bowl area.
Yeah. I go there.
That was you, wasn't it?
That's probably me.
I saw him at Avenue.
This guy lives
chatting up some girl.
Then I go there to meet my friends and then beat them and make them drink shots. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move to quick fire because we don't have much time with Alan.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not really a quick fire question, but
Yeah.
I remember the first meal I ever had
Slow
with
fire
you.
question.
Yeah, slow fire. The first meal I ever had with you was at Shaw Lido. That was for the launch of the Amazing Race Asia. And this fella had like 3 cans of soft drinks. Coke, Sprite, and Coke again. I'm like, what the f***? How's he so slim? What's going on here? You have a sweet tooth.
I used to have the biggest sweet tooth in the world. People always, through all these years, through everything, think like, oh, how can you drink Coke? How do you eat this chocolate? How do you eat this cake? How do you eat this hawker food? And I think for me, when it comes to let's say weight management or being in shape, it's not rocket science. You don't need to work at SpaceX for that. It's simple math, right? If you
Calorie
eat a lot of
deficit.
calories, you got to burn that shit off. You
got 3
gotta
cans,
be able to
a lot of
get
calories already. 3 cans.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Even to this day, I drink Coke. A lot of my friends, they don't like, how do you drink? I'm like, I love drinking Coke.
But you exercise a lot.
No, but if you went jogging at night, right, you burn it off, right? That's probably what you did, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, when you actually, the people think that when they exercise, when they're jogging, when they're lifting weights, when they're doing high rocks or playing pickleball, it's not during that time that you burn your calories. You're burning your calories when you're resting. My body, when I'm resting, if you have more muscle mass, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate is higher. So you condition your body when you're lifting, when you're playing sports, to have a higher BMR. Because when you have more muscle, that will, I think stabilize your insulin levels, your blood sugar levels. But on top of it, your body will metabolize a lot more of the food then. If your body's not efficient, that's why we exercise, is to get our body more efficient at burning calories and storing up glycogen, which we can use for sports. So people think, yeah, maybe I eat all this stuff, but then as long as you exercise and you keep your metabolic rate high, then you can stay in good shape.
So, but his metabolic rate must be like elevated, man.
It's pretty high right now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Okay, have you always been quite disciplined with your eating?
I've never been disciplined.
You see, it's always the
I've
fit
never.
people.
So I see all this stuff on Instagram. Like, any man over 40 years old with a 6-pack, they're going to bed early, waking up early, they're going to the gym every day, they calorie count, they watch the stuff, they work out every day. I'm like, dude, when I did all my men's health covers, did all these things about fitness, I have to say, I have to sell the dream, like you have to work really, really hard. But in actuality, you do have to work really hard. But you can still have your cake or your Coke and eat it too.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
That's what I'm
it's genetics.
I'm
sorry, I just want to say
some part of genetics as well.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
There is, but I think the biggest genetics is the greatest gift I've ever imparted on my own kids is discipline.
Discipline. I knew you
Discipline.
were going to say discipline.
Is
Yeah.
discipline. Because when motivation runs out, you have discipline. I look at my son, like what he's done,
He's
over
an
in
officer
NS.
in the Navy, by the way.
He's an officer. He's like one of 2 kids out of 1,500 to get all these perfect 100s on his IPPT. He is like these. He's the most fit. He got awarded the most fit officer of all the officers at his commissioning ceremony. Got recognized for that, and I couldn't be prouder of him or my daughter to see how they have turned out. Obviously, I wish everything worked out with me and my ex, but then hey, to see how our kids turned out, despite how messed up their parents are, couldn't make me prouder as a father, and they're great kids. They work hard, but I think the most important thing is they take nothing for granted from me and from their mom too.
Okay, so I've got to ask the question.
Yes.
Any chance of you getting back with your ex?
Oh, come on, Jerry.
You should read.
Chapter
Nah.
closed.
This
Chapter
guy-
closed. Chapter
That's
closed.
over.
Read the local news. Yeah, this
Yeah.
guy obviously. Yeah.
But what about dating? What about dating? What about dating?
Wait, that leads to my next
Dating
question. Hold on, this leads to my next question. All right, quick fire. It leads to my it's related. All right, this is the last few quick fire. It's related. All right, so someone once told me, true story. You know this person. I'm not gonna say who.
Yeah.
That person once told me that Allan Wu has a girlfriend in every city in Southeast Asia. True or false?
Totally false.
Just
Totally
one?
False, yeah.
Like more than one in each city in Southeast Asia.
It's more than one in each city.
Yeah.
No, I think it's never been true, but I think with time and age, I think life is all about simplification. And I would never say women are complicated. You guys probably know, being married, you understand that too. Women are just a lot more in general, I think. They're a lot more sophisticated. And they have a lot. Yeah, they're just a lot more nuanced, a lot more layers. We as men are just very simple creatures.
Hold on, he's not answering the question. If you realize,
yes, I'm going to answer it. So I think in the end, like you said, that is not true at all. It's a complete. I won't say lie, but yeah, complete myth.
See,
not girlfriend, but something else.
Correct. You used the wrong term. You said girlfriend.
Yeah.
That implies the commitment. That implies a commitment, right?
Yeah. But no, I don't know. Yeah. I'm flattered that people think that. I'm actually flattered that people think that I am that desirable. But no, that's not true.
Allan Wu. Yes, you are. All right. Next quickfire question: who's the most famous person on Allan Wu's phone? Must be many. Must be a lot.
Most famous person, I would probably say my friend Daniel Wu. He's a Hong Kong actor.
Yes.
Yeah. So probably Wu Yan. So he's Jonas's godfather.
Oh.
Yeah. So probably Daniel, I'd say.
One thing your kids cringe at you for, like thing that you do.
Honestly, I would say every time I want to just take a picture with them. Especially my son. If you look at my son, he never smiles. I'm not sure if he hopefully smiled a bit on your show, but in general, like they just I just love taking pictures with them. But I think after a while they get kind of tired of it. But that and probably. I think for a while, when I was doing the TikTok stuff for a while, doing this, just trying to build up the followers and everything too, trying to stay relevant as an older generation, as a Gen Xer in a Gen Z world. I think that makes them cringe though too.
That sounds like a track.
Yeah, but I think but it's funny because as much as they're cringy, like all their friends, I can see just they think it's. I can say they actually do enjoy my company too, which is cool.
One celebrity you were genuinely starstruck by?
I would say probably when I interviewed the cast of Captain Marvel, and I met like Samuel L. Jackson. I think Brie Larson, Gemma Chan. Also, like I interviewed the cast of Star Wars. Daisy Ridley. But I would say Samuel L. Jackson.
Leave your
it was really
Pornhub
cool to see
spank
him.
bank alone.
No, Gemma Chan is hot, man. Gemma Chan. Okay, last two questions. What does Allan Wu do to look so good?
Drink a lot of Coke. No, I'm just kidding.
Take a lot of Coke.
No, I think what do I do? I think the most important thing is make sure you get enough sleep. That's people just completely don't realize how important it is for rest and recovery. But when you're awake, we're not asking you to sell your whole life away. I think every day just invest a little bit of time for yourself. If you don't have time to go to the gym, don't have time, just go out there and go for a walk. I think it's just so important to stay active.
How long do you sleep for? Like what time to what time?
I should sleep early. I try and sleep at least a minimum of 7 hours. But sometimes I get sick. But I try and get maybe 8 hours, but 7 hours. I wish I could sleep more, but I think with age you just sleep a lot less. I think too. You don't need as much sleep.
Right, Jerry?
I wish.
Right,
It's true. I don't sleep at all.
And final question to the camera. What's next for Allan Wu?
What is next for Allan Wu? I would have to say, you mean in terms of work or in terms of what?
Anything,
Plug us.
life, girlfriends around Asia.
No, I mean, what's next? Looking forward to see my daughter graduate next year from college, from university. I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to my son ORDing, I think in November, seeing where he's going to go to college next fall. For myself, I'll be heading to Japan to host a really large event in a couple of weeks.
Ooh.
And then also...
I'm going to Japan in a couple of weeks.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to Japan, but holiday.
Yeah, holiday. I'm going there for work.
Which part?
Tokyo?
Oh yeah, I'm going to Tokyo. What the heck? When are you there?
14 to 18.
Different itinerary.
I'm there. Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe with the family?
No, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm going to call you then.
Oh, damn it.
Stay away.
I'm going to
You
find
can't be my
Allan Wu.
Japanese girlfriend then.
Bring me along. Bring me along.
JK, can I ask one foreign question?
Yes.
As a foreigner?
Yeah, as a foreigner, yeah. I know you're a foreigner.
I'm a foreigner.
I could barely tell, man.
So I got to ask him, are you Singaporean, PR, or...
I am PR. I'm trying to become Singaporean.
You're trying to become
Yeah,
Singaporean?
Yeah.
I mean, his son is served NS already. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. My
Yeah.
kids have dual. Well, my daughter actually, my daughter has to decide between being. I guess once you reach a certain age, you have to decide your dual citizenship because Singapore doesn't recognize dual citizenship in multiple countries too.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much to the handsome,
you.
the
Thank you
youthful,
very much. Yeah,
Allan
JK.
Wu. Woo! You gotta say woo. Woo! Thank you, sir. Brilliant.
No problem. My pleasure.